A Botnia Targa 25.1. So what, I hear you say? Well, it's not until you get a look at the transom that you realise there's something quite different going on in this boat, and that is a pair of 200 horsepower Mercury outboards. Now Botnia will be quite flexible at what outboards you fit to this boat. This one has the 200 Mercuries and comes in at a whisker under £220,000 including VAT, but Botnia being Botnia, they haven't just slapped a pair of outboards on the back of an existing hull, they've completely remodelled the transom on this boat to take the outboard. So you have this bracket that comes out here, they've remodelled the shape of the hull down here, and of course you have this split bathing platform here so that you can get down either side of the motors. Now on board there really isn't that much of a difference between this and the inboard boat. You don't have a flybridge on this version, of course you don't have an engine underneath the cockpit here, so instead you have this fantastic dry storage area. You also have your batteries down here, but for storage that's a great space to chuck a load of kit, shut the lid and go. Up here at the bow it's familiar Targa, so you get almost a forward cockpit. There's space here to slot in the table which instantly stows right forward here. Storage underneath all of these seat sections, very easy to access and nicely finished, properly lined as well. And then you have your outdoor heads, accessed via this door, which actually once you're in is a reasonably good size. Now in here it's all very familiar Targa, which means you get a couple of pipe berths aft, and then this is your main driving and living area. So you have the table here which can change height depending on where you want to use it, and obviously this is where you're going to sit when you're travelling as well, with a pretty basic galley situation here forward. But it's here where everything changes, because you have this pair of Mercury throttles which are connected obviously to those 200 horsepower per side outboards. And that really does change the way the boat handles. The instantaneous nature of outboards means that the power is there on tap. And the boat quickly shot up to 44 knots today and takes only about 10 seconds to get to 30 knots. And at 30 knots, that's a really comfortable cruising speed. Of course, you're so well insulated from the engines. Mercury outboards are quiet anyway, but when you're inside the wheelhouse with the door shut, you can barely hear them. And at that speed, you're doing about 60 litres an hour, so that really is a very comfortable cruising speed, but of course you can really open it up to about 44 where it's using 130 litres an hour. The hours and hours that Botnia put in to design this boat for outboards has really paid off, because the handling is very sweet. You really would know that it was a boat that was designed at first to have inboards. It's a very natural pairing for this boat, and the handling is very predictable, it's very agile, but in that typical Targa way, it looks after you. And okay, the ride isn't exactly slicing through the water, but it feels so solid and so of a piece. Even if you do take a big wave, the boat feels like it can take it. There are no major complaints here at the Helm station. It's very clear, it's very easy to use, and of course being a Targa, you can adjust not only the angle of the wheel, but this whole panel here, so you can have it right back if you want to sit down, or if you want to drive it like a bus, you can put it up like that. The only thing I would request is a rudder indicator, because it's not that easy to see the outboards and you can sometimes struggle to tell where they are, especially when you're manoeuvring at slow speed. And it'd also be nice to have trim tab controls with an indicator on them, so again you can see where they are in their travel. But apart from that, it's really clear and simple and easy to use. The addition of outboards does nothing to water down the tough appeal of the Targa, and this is meant as a compliment. The feeling is unremarkable, in that it feels like a natural pairing, big outboards and the Targa. If any further proof were needed that outboards are the propulsion choice at the moment, this is it.